Hi, this is Ushio, and this is the Wheeler Institute screening. Let's play. This is a visual novel, and we can choose our character, except we can't. So you can choose one of these three once the game is finished, but this is a work in progress. Let's go with this character. Our name is Loic. Cool, we'll go with that. It's the 26th of May, 2007. Okie dokie. Loic, what are you doing there? Come over here. Oh, okay, wait a sec. Who's this? It's Julian. Yeah, sure, just a minute my ass. Come on, hurry up. Holy shit, Julian is really a dead-ass drunk. He can't even stand up on his feet. My head is aching, but at least I can still walk. These guys are drunk. I take my eyes off the television screen at last and glance at my homies. Julian and Orlen are standing a few steps away, and even though Orlen has to keep you from falling, he may have emptied his glass a bit too frantically. Yo, what's this? Damn, here comes Bryce and his gang of losers. Okay, boys, wait a sec. I mean boys and girls, you know. Orlen pinches her nose and rolls her eyes. Bryce has been clinging to her for the whole evening, and it seems like he hasn't given up yet. Her scowl isn't enough to deter him. Orlen is a meadow girl after all. As for me, I felt like punching him on the nose, fed up as I am with their presence. And so is Julien. He straightens up, leaning on Orlen's shoulder, chasing them away with threatening hand gestures. Shoo, you weeds. What? Weeds, really? Are you saying that because I find your girlfriend really attractive? She's not my girlfriend. She's with Loic then? For how long have you guys been dating? You could have told me. Leave my friends alone, would ya? Julien is whining, reaching his limit. Bryce is having fun bantering and doesn't seem to realise the tone of the conversation is changing. There's going to be a drunk fight in a second if they're not careful. My head's light and my tongue's kind of mushy. I breathe in and out slowly. I shut my eyelids tight and knead my forehead with my fingers to ease the pain. Relax. Okay. I open my eyes again. My head isn't spinning as much. Julian is now laughing his ass off and Bryce is squealing like a stuck pig. I sigh and step forward, hoping to calm their spirits. Orlen withdraws from the group, pouting. Guys. Julian, who was snorting the second before, starts braying like a donkey. He just called Orlen a slut? His voice pitches higher, and I let out a nervous, alcohol-induced laugh. Wow, you're making fun of me too? This misunderstanding won't help. You're all so fucked up. Orlen's voice is barely audible, and everyone turns to her. Bryce walks toward her, and Julian steps between them. There's going to be a fight, for sure. Oh, here we go. What you going to do about it? He spreads his arms, but his unsteady step failed to pose a convincing threat. I'm going to beat the shit out of you, son. Okay. But with faster moves, Bryce dashes forward and crashes his fist into Julian's face. Julian got to the fuck out. Julian steps back in shock, his nose pouring blood. I'm shaking, my eyes are blurry, and I have a hard time gathering my thoughts. I grab the arm that hit Julian and yell, surprised at the thunder rumbling in my voice. For fuck's sake, stop it! My excrescences spread out as tiny fairy rings on my arms and nape. This bizarre display intimidates them. Bryce steps back. Julian doesn't. He's seen me angry before. Seeking for revenge, he throws a kick at his opponent's knees. Bryce falls with a whimper. Miffed, he rolls back up to his feet. Stop it! I'm getting carried away, but I can't take this shit. These bastards are trashing this party. I let out a shout. Enough! I clench my fists, itching to knock some sense into their heads. The streetlights blur into circles and stars, duplicate as reality fades and a fog spreads in the alley, wrapping everything in smoke, hiding the others away from my sight. I back down with concern. What's going on now? They're still around. I can hear them. Orlen is shouting. Julian and Bryce are coughing, spitting. A red glint on the ground catches my attention. Pearls of blood stain the pavement. I briefly discern the faint silhouettes of Bryce's buddies escaping through an adjacent street. I grab Julian by the arm to help him to his feet, but he shrieks and crawls on the ground to keep himself away from me. Next to him, Bryce rolls away in erratic, awkward moves, hindered by his coughing. Why are they staring at me like that? My excrescences can't possibly cause such a panic. I turn around. With every passing second, the street sinks deeper in the fog. My head throbs at the surrounding racket. Mobile phone, tyres screeching on the pavement, and at last, hacking through all the other noises, a siren screams. Is it a police or an ambulance? Loic, what the fuck are you doing? It's like a horror film here. Her voice shatters on the last words. A flow of tears stream down her face as she hugs herself, tugging at her short jacket. I look down at my hands, searching for the cause of their fear. My looks can't explain their disgust. I don't get it. I shield my eardrums from the oppressing siren. The police car stops by us. 2 cops rush out. The street is now but a sea of red and blue, flashing lights gleaming in the clouds of smoke, hiding the lampposts. Call reinforcements. Alert the Institute. We got a drunk deviant and 6 ordinary people in bad condition here. They're unable to process the meaning of the words babbled at the walkie-talkie, nor those followed up by a broth of sputterings. I shake my head to clear my mind, but froze in realization. A cold wave crosses my spine, grips my heart, and I gasp. Guns are aimed at my chest. Hands up. What? Hands up, quick. The command pierces my skull, so I obey. Everyone else fled or hid behind a trash can or a car. I'm standing alone, the mouth of the guns pointing my heart. A cry clogs my throat. I tense further, forehead covered in sweat drops, hands shaking. I turn my head, but colours and light saturate the place, confusing and hellish. I let out a shrill, my voice piercing the smoked wall. I didn't do anything. Shut up, kid. Don't move and kneel down. And cut it with the smoke right now, or... Stop it. He's a child. Don't you think being a bit rough here? Fuck, Eddie. Can't you see he's going to kill everyone? Leave it to the Institute. They're on their way. But we'll be dead before they do. And what better idea do you have? Kill him? Come on, take a step back. The ruckus fades. They shifted their attention away from me. The scratches on my knees twinge in waves. Shapes around me are dissolving. Am I losing consciousness? No. An itch on my cheek comforts me. I'm just tearing up. A wicked smile crooks my lips, bitter as the salty drop hits the ground. A sniff. I try to turn my mind blank. I'd rather get numb than think of the policeman with... No, I'm not going to think about that. I wipe my eyes and stare at the tyre of a car stationed nearby. Focus on a silver hubcap glinting through the fog. Focus on the pitch-black brakes. Focus on the metal glowing under the streetlight. I look in every direction, except in front of me. In spite of the saturated lights, my surroundings are sinking in the dark. My head is spinning, my body convulsing. I lose my balance and fall hands first to the ground. Only echoes inform me of the policeman's presence. I flop down on the pavement. The ground is cold against my shoulder. My hand is stuck under my belly and I can't feel my legs. I close my eyes. I'm so cold. In the distance, a shrill. An ambulance or something? And that is our introduction. We had a drunken fight. Bad things happened. The police showed up. And we kind of passed out. Time has passed. It's now the 28th of May. Loic Loran. 18 years old. 180 centimetres, 77 kilograms. Can we cut it with the formalities already? We took into account your cooperative behaviour, as well as the positive feedback from the psychologist in charge of your follow-up during confinement. No other incident has been recorded regarding your gaseous secretions, and your skin hasn't suffered any damage from them. Awesome, okay. Your dangerous status has therefore been updated to unstable. This status involves a few restrictions within the Institute. It's still better than going to jail, right? You're authorised to unleash your abilities solely inside the training hall, and under supervision of a qualified staff member. Is that understood? Yes, sir. The rest of the time, you're required to restrain it as much as possible. Yes, sir. Until your status gets updated to stable, you must stay within the grounds of the Institute. The cells in the basement can only be accessed to visit other residents, according to schedule and with appropriate clearance from staff. A burning sigh stays strapped in my throat. This conversation is just as entertaining as the solitude of the cell. The room is busy with secured cabinets. An armchair is resting against the window. Not a single flying paper, except for my records, piled on the wooden desk, right by a fairly new computer. Maynard, Dr. Maynard, stands on his feet and looks at me right in the eyes. This guy is limited to a single facial expression, stating his indifference to the surroundings, a gloom emotional emptiness. Breakfast is served from 8 to 10, 8 to 11 on weekends, lunch from 12 to 1:30, 12 to 2 on weekends, and dinner is 7:30 to 8:45. I nod in silence. That's one hell of a regimented schedule, but not stricter than the average boarding school. Residents can make some money if they choose to help in the kitchens on weekdays. On weekends, however, cooking duty is compulsory. 2 residents are in charge of 1 meal in turnovers and are also responsible for ordering supplies. You will be informed in advance when your turn comes. Your peers will take care of explaining you the details. Goodbye lazy Sundays then, I guess. Visitors are allowed in from 2 to 8 p.m. Considering your unstable status, your acquaintances must check in at reception. They are exclusively allowed on the first floor and inside your room if you welcome them in. My socks won't pair by themselves. Silence is required from 9 p.m. as it's the starting of curfew for minor residents. Those past the age of maturity are allowed out of the room until midnight, but must stay in their quarters from this time until 6 a.m. Okay, I guess I'll kill the time talking to the weed I grow here. Go against the rules and punishment will ensue. Repeated infringement shall get you expelled. Understood? Yes, sir. He means serious business. However, he seems to relax a bit after this formal introduction. Good. You're staying in room 201. Boys and girls sleep in separate aisles. Stepping in the opposite aisle or inside another resident's room uninvited is strictly forbidden. Needless to say, any abusive behaviour toward other residents, be it of psychological or physical nature, will be severely punished. Your room can be accessed with your personal magnetic pass. Locking your door or not is up to your preference. I grabbed the card on the desk. Do you have any questions? Okay, about my secondary education diploma, exams are coming up next month. You'll be able to discuss this matter with your assigned psychologist in due time. Oh, okay. You'll be given the Institute's complete book of rules in case you be tempted to forget any of them. Now about the Institute, you've probably already heard of this place, but I'm still going to introduce its role to you. The Benjamin Wheeler Institute aims to teach variants like you to restrain and control your ability through a program including a psychotherapy and practice session. Miss Lydia Pearsall will be in charge of your psychological follow-up and will meet you about twice a week. On occasions, you will also meet and discuss your progress. At this point, I'm willing to meet with that Dr. Pearsall lady every day if it means escaping from this depressing colourless cell with toilets and mattresses that's only pieces of furniture with no distractions for newcomers. They wouldn't want me to cut my wrists with a CD or smash the armoured glass with a book, right? You need to keep in mind that although physical contacts aren't prohibited, many abilities are triggered by touch. Stay careful and informed of the risks for the safety of other residents and your own. Okay, noted. Well, that's it for the essentials. You got enough information to process as it is, right? His automated voice assistant tone softens into a wildlife documentary voiceover one. The building is shaped into a U. You are currently in the southern aisle. Your room is located in the northern one, up the second staircase and at the end of the corridor. Thank you for your attention. A barely subtle dismissal. He grabs the pile of documents and taps the edge of the sheets on his desk in 2 hard hits. I shiver and collect the luggages my parents delivered, staring at my backpack to avoid the uncomforting hazel eyes. Okay, have a nice day, Mr. Loran. Okay, goodbye, Mr. Maynard. I feel weird just from saying his name. I hurry outside the room and close the door behind me, and I breathe in deeply. Oh man, I'm free, almost. No more walking in circles in a 10 square meters cell. I itch to find my room upstairs. The aim is clear, a reinsertion. I shiver under the feeling of being treated like a criminal. Following Maynard's directions, I reach the northern aisle and climb the stairs. Facing the door, I draw out of my pocket the magnetic pass, on which is written my full name and room number. I insert it in the slot, and the latch clinks in response. Okay, we're gonna go into our room. Looks, a bit empty. The brightness strikes me as I step inside the room. Like everywhere else in the building, a large bay window, framed by diaphanous curtains, bathes the place with light. It's charming. And hot, almost too hot. The wooden furniture and creamy white walls increase the sensation of warmth. It's much cosier than I expected. Of course, it wasn't going to be just like home, but it's still way better than most boarding school dormitories, and I get my own room as well. I flop on the bed. The mattress is a bit hard, but the sheets are clean. This relative luxury would be worth a 4.5 out of 5 on Airbnb. Through the window, a garden, a forest, and in the distance, Bayonne, where my parents live. Not taking into account the rules and exit ban, I could almost pretend being on holidays in some remote area. No clubbing and downtown hangouts with friends though. Holidays are meant to be for taking a break, right? But it's hard to feel in a holiday mood when I'm camping by such a murky stream of thoughts. I notice some photocopies on the desk and grab the sheet on top of the pile. Okay. Looks a bit intense. This clarifies Dr. Maynard's explanations. The remaining documents refer to administrative matters, schedules, computer access IDs and so on. The Institute is wide and stunning, a neat gilded cage that I'm eager to explore. I'll unpack later. The empty closet is making me uneasy anyways. Laters. Okay, we're gonna go explore. I carefully lock my door and walk toward the end of the aisle. Oh, Loic, here you are. Wait a sec. A voice echoes in the staircase. It's familiar, but I can't recall to whom it belongs. Oh, the imposing frame of a round-bedded man glows in the afternoon light. Bernard, the second most important staff member after Maynard, and my interlocutor when I was confined. I'd got to see ya. Oh, okay. I frown. I hope he's not going to tell me I'm going back to jail. First of all, if you need help, just ask. We'll surely meet during your practice sessions. Or if you return to confinement, how are you feeling? Tension slips from my shoulders, and my features relax. No jail. I hadn't noticed when I was down there, but Bernard is a pretty friendly guy. However, I wouldn't go as far as sharing my woes with him, and choose to avoid his question in the most subtle of ways. Introduce me to the essentials, I'm doing fine. It's a pretty place, let's be positive. Dodging to the left. You can tell me, you know, it's normal to feel lost at first. He doesn't buy it, muzzle down and mouth dry, unable to fake a smile, but I confess in a whine. I mean, I feel a bit lonely. There are many rooms upstairs, but I haven't met any of the inhabitants yet. Don't worry, there's loads of wonderful residents here who are looking forward to meet you. Make sure to bond with them. They possess very rare tempers, as you'll notice. Try not to rub them the wrong way, and everything will be fine. Some residents have been staying here for a while, and their bonds are settled. So if you want to fit in, don't get in bad terms with just anyone. You never know who they might be friends with. Is this a threat? What is this? And should anything go wrong, I can still introduce you to my son. You see, he's kind of awesome. Okay, cool. Try looking for someone to show you around. That can be your first step. Go to the 3rd floor. Around that time, residents are usually busy with their personal stuff. Alright, cool, thanks. No problem, boy. I need to go before I get accused of procrastinating during working hours. Oh, by the way, I've been keeping your belongings from the other night. I'll return them to you this evening. Oh, my belongings, my phone, I forgot about that. Clamps set in my stomach and clutch my heart. There must be hundreds of messages and missed calls. The incident has probably been on the news. Breath speeding up. I struggle to keep my balance. My mouth gapes as I'm about to drown. I lift up my eyes. Supported by Bernard's shiny smile, I get out of the waters. There's no use in overthinking about things you can't control. You'll see them later. I catch my breath and fake an enthusiastic smile. Thank you. I'll see you later then. Laters. He walks away with swaying steps, his throaty laughter echoing in the corridor. What a peculiar guy. He's barely left when I'm struck with the realization. Isn't showing me around precisely part of Bernard's job? Do I really have to run into some random resident and ask, "Hi, can you take me on a guided tour?" What a way to get noticed. Oh, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Bernard must be busy somewhere else. He was holding a bunch of files scribbled with notes. Let's just have a look at that corridor over there. It should be done quickly. It's just more rooms, right? A tiny red light bulb on the ceiling briefly catches my attention. Surveillance cameras stare back at me. I shiver and move on to my current concerns. Names lettered with highlighter on squared paper hang on some doors, posters of music bands and movie stars on others. Okay, gonna explore a little bit. Oh, who dis? I walk past the restrooms, whistling a tune, when a young lady with alabaster skin exits one of the rooms. I've just stepped into the girls' dorm. My heart jumps in my chest and I blush. Oh, sorry, I got lost. I wasn't up to anything weird, I swear. Wow, she laughs at my puzzled face. A soft, crystalline, heady laugh. I'm not accusing you of anything, though. Are you new? I don't think we've met before. Oh, but I'm being impolite. Hello and welcome. My name is Iona. Wow, first contact mission complete. A timeless smile beams on her face, along with lovely aristocratic gestures as she speaks. Breathless, I recollect myself after staring for an excessively long time. Yeah, I'm Loic, and I just arrived, yes. And that's a big place. I picked one corridor at random, and I've already stepped on forbidden grounds. I haven't met anyone yet. Is it so obvious? Yeah, I haven't met anyone yet. Oh, but you will. Look, you just met me, and that's already one person. It's a small world here. Newcomers are quite obvious to spot, but we always make sure to help them settle in. Who else have you met? Bernard and Dr. Maynard. They told me to socialise a bit, so that's what I've been trying to do. Oh, looks like my sixth sense located a soul in distress. You were saying you were lost. Do you want me to show you around? We can get to know each other as we go. Cool, exactly what I need. A tour of the Institute, and in the most pleasant company at that. Jackpot. If you're the guy I can't refuse, if you don't mind, you'd help me greatly. Yeah, you'd help me greatly. Go for it. We'll start with the ground floor. Okay, the visit lasts for an hour, during which we explore the ground floor and the third floor. I'm shown the reception, with Sai Shen as secretary, a lovely guy in Iona's words, the auditorium, dining hall and kitchens. Cosy common rooms can be found on the third floor, a playroom, a TV room, a chip projection room, gym and the leisure room. With each stop, and there are many, my host drops anecdotes of past events that took place on the designated spot. For instance, I'm told the TV got pretty bad luck with some residents. At the end of our excursion, Iona turns to me gleefully. I need to drop by the library, which we haven't seen yet. You want to come? Unless you needed to go somewhere else. I mean, thanks for your time. Wow. I feel much more at ease in the place. Sure, yes, let's just go along. This is new, we don't know what we're doing. And we got nothing else to do, right? It's on the first floor. I nod and let her lead the way. In we go to the library. Iona pushes the entrance door to the library. Sunlight passes through large windows, crowning the mahogany woodwork with a golden halo. The ring of bookshelves would pale in front of a public library, but would satisfy a school. I scan the printed spines of the books, leaving Iona to her rant. What scoundrel misplaced the books? She fumbles with the shelves to tidy them. A thoughtless pull on one of the books causes a crumbling of hardcovers to fall on her head. Oh wow. Seems like the clumsy type. I refrain from grabbing her arm, instead help her to collect the books, lips crooked with embarrassment. Oh, wasted. We can get all Grand Theft Auto meme on her. Let's help her pick the books up. She grumbles, though with humour. Damn, I'm so jinxed. She shakes her head and finishes arranging the shelves. There are many works on biology and anthropology, as they help grasp the therapeutic approaches developed in the Institute. You'll surely have a need for them in the future. We all do at some point. Do you like to read? I mean, go with novels, sure. Then you'll be delighted. That's what residents like best, so the Institute acquires plenty of them for us. I already saw some enticing works. Those I bought from home won't last long. Especially considering I can no longer visit the public library. My smile fades. Iona brightens it with her own. You can't get bored here, and in case you really need something, you can still ask to a stable or safe resident to get it for you in town. That's what friends are for, right? It's not the same as exploring a bookshop in search of a new gem. She taps my shoulder, and I shiver in response. I am still unstable for now, but once we'll be allowed outside, I'll promise I'll take you to a bookstore. Even unstable residents can be granted some clearance if you're escorted and well behaved. The idea of hanging out with Iona sounds even more appealing than shopping for books. On the back of the library is a computer room. Come, I'll show you. I need to print some stuff out. Here we are. You can access the computers any time of day. There's no need to book a spot, but each resident owns a personal session. I found the access IDs in my room upon arrival, so you probably did too. If you're having trouble with anything, just ask Sai Chen from the reception. He's studying computer science and takes care of the Institute's network. And you can browse any website. Iona clicks her tongue playfully. Wow, sensitive content is blocked by proxies, but you can break through with a VPN. Are you the local hacker man, or is this place packed with computer geniuses? In which case, I'm gonna come off as some kind of noob here. I load my compliment on a finger gun, and she seems pleased to be the target. Wow, finger guns. I spend hours on the computer, but the Institute welcomes a large variety of profiles. Not everyone is a tech savvy. For example, ask Salem to do some research online, and she'll be like a fish out of water. I mean, please, she clicks on pop-ups. What would she do without me? Who would suspect a genuine lady like Iona can harbour such mischief? Her casual tone suggests they know each other well, but I'm too shy to pry out further anecdotes regarding Salem and her cybernetic arch-nemesis. Iona sits on a computer, turns it on. I'll be quick, hope you don't mind. I awe at the swift and frantic typing of her fingers. She's fully engrossed in her task. Looking for a dress? You going to a gala? Oh no, I just need some references for an assignment due next week. I must design an evening dress. I'm studying fashion. What about you? Oh, I haven't graduated from secondary education yet. I choke on my words. My graduation exams are next month. How am I supposed to take them if I'm not allowed outside the institute? She seems unsettled. Maybe you can take them here? That's how it usually goes for residents. I can ask Maynard for you. Thanks, but no thanks. I'd ask him myself. Iona switches topics again as an attempt to distract me from my worries. And what do you plan on doing once you've obtained your secondary education diploma? Not entirely sure. I might go for a language or something. I don't feel like getting into the details. Iona turns back to the computer, and I glance at the screen, trying to lift up my mood. I can't help picturing Iona in the stunning dress displayed on the photos. She'd rock it. I lean forward to have a look at the frills. She gives her watch a quick glance, launches the printer and turns to me. I step back at this sudden closeness, heart jumping in my chest. Okay, time for dinner, don't you think? Come on, I'm not going to let you eat by yourself on your first day. My stomach grumbles in approval, silencing our laughs. Okay, dinner time. Following Iona was a clever choice, and like me, she easily finds her way into the maze of corridors. Wow, when all the residents gather in the dining hall, it sure does look crowded. If all the rooms in the dormitory are taken, the Institute should be hosting around 30 people. Iona heads to the back of the room, fills a glass of water, and points at the queue. Just grab a tray and help yourself. I recommend you follow a healthy diet, but no one is going to check on your plate. She teases me with a wink. Unless there's raclette, I should be able to control myself. She giggles as I walk toward the queue, salad, meat and green beans, according to Iona's criteria for a balanced meal. Okie dokie, I'll come and sit in front of my favourite tour guide. I missed having tasty meals. What I got served while in the cell was edible, but hardly enjoyable. The dining hall's canteen is better in every aspect, that's for sure. Okay. You're not having food yourself? Oh. No, my current ability doesn't allow me to process food. I just have to settle with water. An awkward silence follows. I prick some beans in my paint and ask, okay. Yeah, what's your ability then? If it's okay to ask, I don't want to pry. She doesn't seem offended and replies, it seems that I can take full control of my metabolism, but I don't know yet what it's supposed to mean. For now, all it does is prevent me from eating and sleeping. Sleeping? Wow. Aren't you always tired then? No, I just get bored during curfew. I work on my laptop. I must have read a third of the library books, and when I'm out of ways to kill time, I doodle. Must be awful. I hope you get better soon. With sufficient practice, I surely will. I clear my plate as Iona fiddles with her phone, vibrating incessantly. Now that I'm replete, the adrenaline that kept me going all day drops down, and my limbs start to feel heavy as lead. Meeting with Maynard, strolling around the Institute and eating a solid meal has finished me. I need a rest. Well then, thanks for everything, Iona. I need to catch up on sleep. I'm going to be the living dead tomorrow. Oh, please go. If you need me, I'm in room 227. Cool. Can you find the way back? I nod, lift the both of our trays from the table, and leave with a last hand wave. Alright, bye Iona. See you later. Back to the room. Oh, who dis? In the boys' aisle, I find Bernard searching for something. His raucous greetings startle me. Oh, excellent timing. I've got a nose for finding residents. Here, your phone and the rest of your belongings, as promised. Oh, thank you very much. No problem, kiddo. Have a good night's rest. He goes to the staircase and leaves me by the door, hands full, struggling to slide the magnetic pass into the slot. Okay, we got our phone back. I drop my things onto the floor and finally get my phone. Messages by the hundreds. I scroll through in a hurry, a sea of hate and disbelief, with just a few supportive vessels to defy its waves. Strangers murdering me on social media, my voicemail flooded with unregistered numbers. I notice a shy poke of sympathy from Orleen and a striking silence from Julian. I repress some tears and a gag. A cold shiver runs up my spine. I breathe in, damning the panic. I run through my contacts list and press the call button. Loic? Mum. Loic, you got out of the cell. Are you okay? Yeah. Did they provide for everything? Yeah, I don't need anything. It's kind of cozy here. Well, that's good news. With your father, we were afraid the Institute would be as unpleasant as the cells. We visited the place, of course, but you know what I mean. Yeah, thanks. If you have any problems, you can call any time, right? No matter what happens, we love you, don't forget that. That's all I needed to hear after such a day. I sniff discreetly and squish the tears with my sleeve. An instant passes, the time I need to regain control over my voice. Loic, are you sure everything's fine? Yes, Mum, thanks to the both of you, you're awesome. That's normal, sweetie, that's what we're here for. I'm going to sleep now. Rest well, call me tomorrow, we can talk a bit more, right? Sure. Sweet dreams, honey. Sweet dreams, Mum. Kisses to Dad too. I hang up and leave the phone on my handstand with the firm intention not to look back at it until tomorrow. The rest of the world will wait another day, and so will Orleen and Julian. I lift my eyes up. Why didn't I tidy my stuff earlier? I can't escape it anymore. I've got to unpack. Let's go. I hang a couple of pullovers and shirts. I fold the socks and underpants into the lower part of the closet, and the rest onto the second shelf. The task helps me keep my mind busy. The first bag is empty, and there's still room for the things my parents brought. My belongings remain scarce. just my sportswear really. It won't keep me busy for long. I'm glad the Institute has so many confusing rooms and activities. Honestly, what the hell am I doing in this place? Before the incident, I'd had a quiet life, a supportive family, friends to mess around with, reasonably boring classes. And now, I'm stuck here in the Institute, a social outcast, a number among others, attending therapy for reinsertion, just like your average thug. I'm bitter. I felt welcome, and everybody's friendly. Except Maynard, but that's kind of his job. Seeing all these residents all the time must be annoying after a while, right? I got mixed feelings regarding my stay in the protection cell. Being regarded as dangerous isn't exactly pleasant either. Surveillance cameras in every corner. And they went as far as turning the place into a fortress by adding the gates. Absolute madmen. I'll need to consider the larger picture with a fresh eye to be objective. Tomorrow. Everything will be better after a good night's sleep. And that I'm staying here now doesn't mean it's forever. Perhaps I'll be able to solve it all within a few weeks. Signed, sealed and delivered off, and back I go. Back to the normal way of living. Plus, Iona is awesome. And kind. I can trust her to help me getting used to life at the Institute and ask her anything without feeling dumb. It's nice to have a friendly shoulder to lean on. Yeah, let's stay positive. Tomorrow is a new day. Fingers crossed. And that is the end of the demo. So yeah, it is very much reminiscent of kind of like how X-Men is. So these people, they're just minding their business. They suddenly have all these superpowers coming out of them, and they don't know how to control and can hurt people. And then they end up in the Institute. But yeah, this is cool. I'll leave a link in the description, so if you want to check out the game for yourself, you can do. But yeah, that is this. This was the Wheeler Institute, and this is Usho signing off, and hopefully I'll see you next time.